Hello viewers, it's that time of the week again. It's Tuesday 8 o'clock and it's the Tonight Show with Afzal Akram. Welcome to the show. I hope you've had a fantastic week and I hope you're going to enjoy this week's show as much as you did last week. But before we go into that, I have to make my reminder to you. We are in the middle of a general election. I hope you have all registered to vote. As black and minority ethnic people, as Asian people, we tend to not register to vote. It's our chance to have a say on the general election. So please get along to your local council, get yourself registered to vote, and on December the 12th, go out and cast your vote for the party that you think will represent your aspirations and your needs the best. But coming back to today's show, we're going to be, I'm going to be introducing my guest to you shortly. We're going to talk to a young man who started many years ago as a, what I used to term as bouncer, but they then become bodyguards. They work with stars, and now he's looking to do something new. He's looking to actually go into events management and create a beauty pageant with a difference, and we will talk a little bit about that with him. So without further ado, why don't we go and introduce our guest. Yusuf, welcome to the Tonight Show.
Thank you, Afzal, for having me here.
No, you're welcome. Yusuf Khan. So Yusuf, you've started many years ago as a bodyguard. I know we met about, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago at an event where I think I looked scruffy and you wouldn't let me in. That's how we first met.
Apologies for that. No, nothing personal, just business.
Look, I'll let you on my show. There you go. I'll let you on my show. But you're dressed very smartly, so there you go.
Thank you.
On there. So tell me, what is the difference between a bodyguard and a bouncer?
Okay, it's the level of training that we receive. So with a bouncer, it's now called door supervisor.
Okay.
New terminology, and bodyguard is now close protection, and that's a government issued license by the UK government, and it enables us to kind of, we're qualified to do that. However, I have to say it takes years of training to actually start working with the top celebrities.
Okay, and obviously you are, because I know I've seen you with, what sort of celebrities are you currently working with? And don't be shy. Give them a name check.
I actually say I've been working for 25 years as a bodyguard. The family we've mostly looked after is the Bachchan family, and that's during all the IFA awards, and that's in different countries around the world. So that was really good fun, hard work, but really I love bodyguarding. From the first day I entered into it till now, it's the same passion for it. So I just believe as long as you do something that you really enjoy, it's great.
And what made you go, what was your aspiration to go in this line of work? I mean, I presume you could have chosen any career, but you chose to go in this line of work. What was the aspiration? Was it a 5-year-old young lad who said, I want to be a bodyguard? Or what was it that drove you there?
We actually wanted to meet Imran Khan. And this is really going back.
Are we talking about Imran Khan, the politician?
Politician.
Or Imran Khan? Oh, right, okay.
Politician.
The Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Prime Minister of Pakistan. But back then it was Imran Tigers. And this was in our local town. And he was there promoting Imran Tigers, and we wanted to meet him. And the actual promoter at the time said, well, if you want to be security and come in, and at that time, 25 years ago, there weren't licenses required. So me and my kind of team went in and we looked after Mr. Imran Khan, and that was a great privilege. And then from there, we actually did quite a good job. And then we went in for the training, and here we are today after 25 years with many stars that we've bodyguarded.
Okay. If any of our viewers are watching, and we've got some young lads or young ladies as well, because obviously it's a role that both sexes can do. What sort of training do they require to do? How does one go about being a bodyguard from scratch?
So I would say, as I was saying, it's the license. So get yourself onto the government license, which is a 21-day course, and it's the close protection. And for that, there are many training centres out there. We don't actually provide the training. I've been asked many times that why doesn't my company provide that training? We're just too busy actually working to go into the training. But there's many centres out there, and it's 21-day course. But as I say, that's not the be-all end-all. That's just a foundation, and after that, it's gaining the experience and working with the clients and understanding their needs.
Okay, and before we move on to some of the work that you've covered, just tell me a little bit more about this 21-day, because one of the things I'm keen on about is getting advice to our viewers on careers and what they should do. You said it's a 21-day course, yeah? Is that 21 days as in one day after another, or can it be 2 days this week, 2 days next week? How does that 21
So it
day
depends
course
on
work?
your, sorry to interrupt, I'll say it depends on your trainer. So we did 21 days consistently. And then after that, we added to that by going abroad and undertaking firearms training. So we have a license on that as well. So which, just to clarify, you can't carry firearms in the UK. No bodyguard or close protection officer can carry firearms in the UK, but you can abroad in some countries.
Well, I do have a funny story on that. You say you can't, but I suppose if you're the Prime Minister, your bodyguard can carry a firearm. This was a number of years ago. I was at a dinner, and Tony Blair happened to be the Prime Minister in those days. And I was sat on the table next to his and having dinner, talking to this smart gentleman who said he was in business. Can't remember exactly what business he said, but he said it was business. We're having this conversation. So it's like a 2-3 hour dinner, and we've been talking about business through the whole thing of it. And to me, he was a bona fide business person. And towards the end, his napkin dropped, and he leant down to pick up his napkin. And as he leans down, his jacket opens up, and I see a gun in there. And he sees me seeing a gun in there, so he quickly just closes it and carries on talking as though nothing has happened. I carry on talking to him. I haven't said anything about it. I think I'd worked out he was probably the bodyguard at the moment. And then when the dinner finished, we were on around one side, and he said, thank you for not letting that on. I shouldn't have let it slip. But yes, I am, before you asked me, I am a bodyguard to the Prime Minister. And so I realised that they actually have formal bodyguards.
Yes.
Who you can tell are bodyguards, but they have people dotted around in the audience who are bodyguards as well.
Yeah.
And of course, they have license to carry these arms.
They have license because they're probably serving in the military or they're special branch police,
Right.
and they're allowed to carry firearms.
Right. Okay.
Whereas if you go to any private bodyguard firm, they won't be able to carry firearms.
Okay, so you can do a 21, it's like a month's training course. You
Yeah.
then get your registration to be a bodyguard, and then you can actually do what they call close protection, guarding of individuals, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we have the door supervisors, as you call them now, yeah? Now, do they also do a 21 day, or is their training something different?
No, they have a 4-day training, and it's normally over 2 weekends. Most people do that, and then you go in for an exam. There's always an exam at the end of it, so it's not just you have these certain number of days and you become qualified, just like anything else. You have to prove you're competent in what you've learned, and then you apply for the license. And door supervisor is old-term bouncers are at the clubs.
Right. I mean, we say clubs, but they could be a door supervisor
Anywhere.
for whether it's retail or
Yes.
something else. It's the same license, yeah?
Yeah.
Is 4 days enough training for that?
Again, that's just a foundation, and once you're actually in the profession, that's when you learn. So we're learning all the time, and I've been in this industry for 25 years, and we're still learning, and it's really adapting to each client that you work with. So as long as you enjoy what you do, and and you're constantly learning, and you have the passion for it, and that's it.
Okay,
that's what you
so
need.
so let's move on to some of your bodyguarding activities. Obviously, like you said, what drove you was wanting to meet Imran Khan at that time. Give us a flavour of who, during that 25 years that you've been bodyguarding, what type of people?
So most of the A-list celebrities in Bollywood, some Hollywood as well, and I've mentioned the Bachchan family, the Khans, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, Saif Ali Khan, Akshay Kumar, Hrithik Roshan. I could carry on.
So who's list, yeah?
So
it's a who's list of
yes.
Asian people, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Any funny story, without mentioning names, I don't want to be sued, yeah? Without mentioning names or anything like that, any funny stories during this sort of career that you've had with these famous people?
For the detailed funny stories, I'll probably write a book one day when I'm retired. At the moment, what I can say, we've seen the tantrums happen. I'm not going to mention any names. Probably just walking off into the street, and we're thinking, right, there's a security risk here. Walking into the road, and you have tantrums from maybe some of the celebrities, and I think it's also from the promoters as well in some cases, because in some cases, the itinerary changes at the last minute, and the celebrities are thinking, what's going on here? So we see that, but however, we're there for risk assessment, and if there's any danger to the celebrity, we're there to protect them in that way. But all of this behind the scenes we stay away from.
So I'm supposing your job starts from the moment they land in the country, if
Yeah.
they're coming from abroad, right through their hotels, going to the venue, doing the show, and the whole shabam there, yeah?
Yeah, all of it. So basically, yeah, from the point they land, going to the hotel, venues, parties, which is great in some instances, and to the point they leave. So that's the service we provide. Also, if they need any vehicles, transportation, you know, and they have requests from Rolls Royces to S-Class Mercedes, to maybe some supercars that they may need as well, so we can provide that.
Okay. Before we go to a break, we are coming to a break, yeah. Has any rich sheikh left you with a Rolls Royce at the end of the job?
I'm still waiting for that moment.
So you haven't been quite so lucky then on there, yeah?
Haven't been lucky, but I'm waiting for
Well,
it.
next time you're going on one of these, especially international trips, and you need a bag carrier, you know where I am, yeah? Okay?
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Viewers, stay with us. We're going to a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Yusuf's next project and why he's moving to that project. So stay tuned in, and we shall see you shortly. Welcome back, viewers, to the second part of the Tonight Show with Afzal Akram. And in the first part, we met our guest today, Yusuf Khan, who for the past 25 years has been a bodyguard to famous celebrities. And his career started with the then cricketer Imran Khan, who of course now is the Prime Minister of Pakistan. I'm not sure if Imran Khan will remember him from 25 years ago, but he certainly does remember Imran Khan. So we're now just going to move on to the next phase. I mean, I was talking to Yusuf during the break as well, and he was telling me about his next project, which Yusuf is a beauty pageant. Now, usually when people mention a beauty pageant, to me the thought comes that it's usually women who do beauty pageants rather than a guy. And, you know, growing up watching television, seeing the Miss World and the Miss Universe competitions, it was all about who wore the bigger dress, you know, the bigger, the fancier they are, who wore the smallest bikini that they could fit, who had the biggest smile, who had these, what I would term, set lines for questions on how they were going to change the world when they were asked about it. And that was what beauty contests happened to be. And then they sort of went away, and they seem to be coming back again. But, you know, why are you wanting to, you know, move from a bodyguard into putting on a beauty pageant?
Okay, so firstly, I'm not moving from a bodyguard. My bodyguarding is still there, still active. This is just something else that I have a passion for, and I think it will just add value to the community. And I'll get on to that, how it's going to add value. So it's called UK Beauty and Brains. And the reason for the brains is we're highlighting the achievements of the women, the contestants in here. And the marking will be 50% on beauty and 50% on achievements.
Okay, so the actual pageant is about, I suppose measuring is the wrong word, but it's about looking at the beauty aspect of the person, but also the beauty of the mind as well, because it is still beauty, isn't it? So it's the inside as well as the outside. Yeah,
and it's to do with, so the achievements are academic, or they could be a talent, singing, something like that. So we would really do want to focus on the talent. And the judges as well will be kind of briefed accordingly for the marking.
Okay, we'll come back to the judges in a moment. So my understanding is, and how many categories is it open to all ages, or?
It's open to all ages, and we have 3 categories. So we have Miss, which is age 18 to 29, Ms, which is 30 to 40, and Classic, which is 41 and over.
Okay, so you've got people that are going to be competing with other women in a similar age bracket,
yes,
which means that they probably would have had similar life experiences. And if I've understood right, what you're saying is, as well as looking at the beauty of the person, you also can look at what they've achieved. Well, that could be a career, for example. Could be somebody who's a professional. You said, you know, a skill, a particular skill, and academia as well. Could be one of the skills that you're measuring.
So yeah, and actually we have contestants. So we have a politician, we have a singer, we have an actress, we have a doctor, and we have interior designer. So we, you know, it's from all walks of life that we're getting these contestants. And you're probably thinking, well, what's attracted these women to this pageant? Because these are women that don't normally enter pageants. And the reason is it's the cause that we have at the end of this. So 100% of the profits will go to help reduce knife crime in the UK.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm putting this together, or the
Okay.
main reason.
So I'll come back and we'll talk about the course later on as well. It's one of the reasons why you actually started this up. But I'm still quite intrigued to see why you went down the route of the beauty and brains and not just a traditional beauty pageant, which is what tends to happen.
Well, again, it's highlighting the achievements. So it's going to be, I know I can't mention a date, but it's going to be quite close to International Women's Day. And the reason why, it was really getting feedback from contestants and from other beauty pageants to say, just learning and how is it evolving. So in the past, you're quite right, it's been 100% on beauty, and that's it. And it's the kind of the bikinis and the big dresses. On my beauty pageant, the bikini is optional. There isn't a compulsory bikini round, and it is really highlighting. There's going to be 3 rounds on the live final.
Right. I was going to say, so what are the rounds? Let's start with the first. What is the first round?
So the first round, the contestant comes out and will speak about the achievements.
Okay.
That's round 1.
And will there be questions from judges, or they will just have an open 5 minutes talk about yourself? How are you looking at that?
So second round will be where the contestant speaks about challenges they've faced in life and how they overcome those challenges.
Okay, hold there. We have a caller. Let's take a caller first. We'll take the calls as they come in, and then we'll carry on the conversation. Hello, caller. Who are you?
Samina.
Hello, Samina. Where are you from?
I'm from London.
Hi, how are you? And what's your question for Yusuf?
So I've actually just tuned into your channel quite late. So I just wanted to know a bit more about the event.
A bit more in what sense?
So when the date is, or is there any way that we can contact, is it Yusuf, to try and get, so social media is a big thing. Is there any way we can contact him through social media?
Right. Okay, so what I'm going to say just a minute is if you stay tuned into the show, at the end of the show, I will give you information about it and how you can contact as well. But thanks for your call. Stay tuned in, and we'll definitely answer your question towards the end of the show, yeah? So people are interested already, Yusuf, in the concept of beauty and brains, yeah? So we were coming back to, and I know you jumped onto the second. The first bit of the show is the ladies come out and they talk about their achievements, yeah? Are the judges going to ask them questions, or are they just going to come out and give a 5-minute presentation, or how's that going to work on the first bit?
So the first bit, the judges won't ask questions.
Right. So they'll just come out and say, my name is Samina from London, and I am XYZ. I've achieved XYZ, and they'll have a set time to do that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the judges will mark them based on what they've said, yeah? Okay. So then we're moving to round 2, yeah?
Yes.
What's round 2?
So round 2 is the contestant will talk about challenges they've faced in life and how they've overcome those challenges.
And once again, is that going to be an open, they talk about themselves, or will there be questions from judges? Or
So that's again the contestants speaking, and the judges won't be asking any questions.
Right, so okay, so they'll come in, so they've talked about their achievements, they'll then talk about the challenges they faced in achieving those achievements.
And,
yeah?
and how they overcome those challenges. And I
Right.
think that's the important bit that we want to capture there.
Okay, so linked to these rounds, so let me, because I forgot to ask you in the first round, yeah? Sorry, I'm still getting my head around it, yeah? So in the first round, while they're talking about the achievements, is there a particular dress that they'll be wearing, or will it be a freestyle, they can wear anything they like?
So on the first round, they will wear a T-shirt, which is going to be having the UK Beauty and Brains on there, and also the what we're trying to support.
So
the
they'll all
community
be wearing the
project.
same T-shirt,
They'll be
basically, they'll all
saying-
be looking the same, yeah?
And the reason behind that is because we want to hear about what the women have achieved rather than the look. So the marks on that round is more about the achievements.
Yeah. Okay. And the second round, what will they be wearing in that?
So on the second round, the theme is a VIP party. Now, there is an option to wear, a standard dress or a bikini. You could think of it as a pool party.
Right.
And the reason we were going to cut out the bikini part totally, but some women actually approached us, the contestants, and said we actually want that in there. So we left it optional.
So it's an open round then. It's a freestyle round.
Yeah.
It's themed around a party.
A VIP party.
A VIP party, and they can choose whatever they want to wear.
Correct.
All right. So and okay, and then from the second round you're moving to the third round, yeah?
Yeah.
And then is that the final round, the third round?
That's the final round.
So what will be happening in the final round?
So in the final round, in terms of dress sense, we're having some designers come on board, and so it will be a ball gown or another dress, which is the theme is you're going to a VIP awards night, and so that will be a
So they'll
dress
be
of some kind.
modelling an evening dress or whatever.
Yeah.
Will there be talking in this round as well, or will it
And this
just
is
be-
where the judges get a chance to ask the question.
Okay.
So the judges will ask questions to each of the contestants.
Okay. So the questions that judges have, do you know, maybe I'm going too much detail,
No,
and you
it's
can say
fine.
we haven't done that. Will there be set questions for each of the contestants, or is it based on what they said in round 1 and 2?
The actual questions are going to be up to the judges to ask.
Okay.
So there's no guidance from me to say you have to ask X, Y, Z.
Okay.
It's going to be based upon, as you say, their answers to the questions, which, you know, the first 2 rounds, which I don't know what they will be. The judges can kind of ask accordingly.
So already I can see the differences between a traditional pageant and to what you're doing is that there's both a physical element to it, i.e. what the ladies are wearing, okay, and modelling, as well as what they're actually talking about and their achievements, and they're having interaction with the judges on all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Completely right. So there is that difference between other pageants, and that's why we're trying to clearly focus on achievements.
Right, great.
within this,
Okay,
yeah.
so then let's, from there then, I mean, we've talked about the judges for a while, moving on to, because a lot of the pageants is based on the quality of judging, I should say as well.
Yeah.
How are you going to be, have you selected judges? How are you going to select the judges?
So we have an idea of who the judges will be, and we're still in the selection process, so we haven't finalised any judges yet, but we want to, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we want to start to finalise the judges and have them on our website. And I think, you know, the type of judges we want are people that have achieved in life. So they're not only judges, they're role models as well. And you know, if I may, I saw your program last week, and you had Ruxana, the managing director of Venus,
That's right,
on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I was really impressed with her life story and how she's achieved so much. And actually, it would be an honour if Ruxana actually did agree to become a judge.
Hey, Ruxana, I hope you're watching. You got an offer to become a judge. Your life story from last week has inspired Yusuf to invite you. If you are, give us a call in if you're listening. If not, I'll make sure you get the message afterwards. So you're looking for people who, like Ruxana, have achieved. They've done something with their life. And is it going to be an all-women's judge panel? Is it going to be a mix?
It's going to be mixed, but I think I'll be having more women than men, but it will be mixed panel of judges.
And will any of the judges have prior experience of beauty pageants, or are you looking for purely people from everyday walk of life?
It's not necessary, so some will have and some won't, and that's why we want that mix. So we don't want the traditional, just looking at the beauty type of judges. So we're going, and that's why I think, you know, Ruxana would be brilliant, because it's that achievements in life, and that's what we're trying to promote in this pageant. It's the achievements of the contestants. And there is a reason behind why we're trying to focus so much on that, and it's the cause at the end, which we can talk about.
Okay,
if
we'll
you
talk.
like,
We'll
yeah.
talk about that in the third part on there, right? Okay. So just to summarise now, so I've got it clear in my mind. Yeah, we're looking at, or should I say, you're looking at putting on a different type of beauty pageant to what we've normally had, because I know in the past you've had. And to me, it comes across that you're mixing 2 things. There's been beauty pageants where women have obviously modelled themselves and the clothing they're wearing, and they've got marks for it, and a winner has been chosen. And then you've had talent shows, because I know you mentioned a little bit about talent, where people have looked at what talents they've got, whether it's singing, dancing, or something else. And you're sort of, if I'm not mistaken, trying to merge the 2 as well, and adding to the talent, you're looking at achievements and struggles in life as well.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
I think a nice mix.
It's a nice mix. And has something like this happened before?
Not that I know of. So it's not like I've seen a beauty pageant and I've kind of taken their concept. It's brand new concept.
But you're still calling it a beauty pageant and not a talent show.
It's UK Beauty and Brains, and that's what we're calling it.
So it could be anything basically, from the beauty side or from the brain side.
Or in fact, we're focusing on both.
Right. Okay. I know you're putting on the event next year, and we'll come back to that. And you're leading up to getting people to obviously get involved, apply, go through. Are you providing any training to the candidates that are putting themselves forward, or is it pretty much you learn what you want to learn, and we want to see the finished product?
No, we will be providing some training. So in terms of the catwalk, walking in and giving them that confidence as well to say that this is how the beauty pageants run, where to stand, because it's going to be televised as well, and so there will be training provided, because most of the contestants that have applied so far, it's their first time entering a beauty pageant, be it beauty and talent. So we're definitely going to support them as much as we can.
Right. Okay. So. Your inspiration, you said earlier, was that you wanted to support some project around knife crime, you were saying, and the proceeds of this event is going to fund this project. Yeah? Care to say a little bit about why knife crime? Why is that so special to you?
So to your point, 100% of the profit will go to help reduce knife crime in the UK. And why knife crime? Because knife crime's been on the increase. It's doubled in the last 3 years. It's at the highest point it's ever been. So knife crime now, initiation process to get into a gang, the person has to stab anyone. So, there was reports on the news we probably heard where a 50-year-old got stabbed coming out the station in the afternoon. Pregnant ladies being stabbed. So it's not the traditional, people we used to think, it's the gang related, and it's only targeting other gang members. Now it's gone on to the community, and it's getting worse. So it's what can I do as an individual to help to reduce that?
Okay, well, hold that thought and we'll talk a little bit more about in the final part of the show. Viewers, we're going to a break. If you stay tuned with us, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about why this is important to Yusuf, and we'll talk a little bit more about the dangers of knife crime as well. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the night show with Afzal Akram. This is the final part of the show, and we've meeting my guest Yusuf Khan today, who's been in the bodyguard business for 25 years, worked with all the A-list stars from Bollywood, Lollywood, and I think one or two from Hollywood as well, if you like. He's started off by bodyguarding Imran Khan, the cricketer, who now has ended up as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So he's used to working with famous people. And through that line of work, he's now looked to put on an event which is a beauty pageant, but with an element of achievements for women as well. What he wanted to look at was not just the beauty from outside, but the beauty from within. So there's 3-4 categories, and it's about what you've achieved, the difficulties you've overcome, as well as how you look and how you talk as well. And the reason for putting an event on, we were talking about in the earlier part, is that for him, knife crime is a big issue, and he wants to use the proceeds from this event, to actually do a community project on helping to reduce knife crime. So in this part, we're going to talk a little bit about why knife crime and the effects of knife crime. So Yusuf, we started talking a little bit about it before the break, that you're looking to put on a community project around knife crime. But tell us, why is knife crime so important to you? It could have been any community project you could have picked on, but why knife crime? Okay,
well, as I said before, knife crime is increasing so much over the last few years. It's doubling every couple of years, and it's affecting more than just people in the gangs. So it's affecting innocent people in terms of, as I was saying, a 50-year-old coming out from a train station. You've got a pregnant lady being stabbed. You have the initiation process to get into a gang now is to stab someone. It could be anyone.
So you're saying in order for young people to join a gang, they have to actually stab someone?
Yes.
Why is that?
Initiation process. So in order to prove that they're worthy to enter, join a gang, that's what they have to do. And in the area where I live, it seems to be more and more on the rise. And I have teenagers, kids, and I guess it's for most parents. You fear that your kids are outside, and when I was growing up in the 70s, our doors were wide open, and there was no fear in them days, and now it seems to be yeah, we're happy that the kids are on the PlayStation or Xbox because we can see them and they're in sight, or they're on the iPad, and that's depriving the kids of going outside and experiencing the world. And it's fear of gang crime or knife crime or entering into a gang. And even at school, some of the kids, how do they get into knife crime? It's they're at, buying a chicken burger, for example, and one of the gang members will offer to buy the chicken burger for them. And the reason they do that is to bring them into the gang. So suddenly that child now owes that gang member something because he bought them a meal. And that's how they're recruiting people into gang crime. So how they then, after that, it's, right, I bought that meal for you, now you need to deliver this package to my friend down the road.
And what's in the package?
And 9 times out of 10 it's going to be drugs, or it may be some kind of weapon that needs to be kind of transported from A to B.
Okay, so I mean, I think it's fair. Some of it you said, and I want to touch on bits of it as we go along. There is a journey along here. Like you, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and gangs were around then. I was part of a gang, but a gang then meant 5, 6 of you used to go to school together, or used to go and play football together, and you were a gang, yeah? Or you saw something on TV and you were replicating them. But even in those days, when you did have what you would term as in gangs that actually even had a fight with each other, it used to be bare knuckles. So the worst you'd get is a black eye, or maybe you've broken an arm or done your hand in. But now, a simple argument, it's just knives. And I dread to think whether guns will start being involved in it as well.
Well, guns are being involved, but they're not as popular as the knife, because the knife is easily obtainable. You get it from the kitchen. On TV you hear about, we've got to stop selling knives to kids. I don't think that's the root cause of the problem, that the knives are in the kitchen. So it's all about educating the kids. And some of the kids that I've spoken to, or the vulnerable youth, they're saying, well, if we don't enter this gang, there's nothing else for us to do. And so that's why we're offering sponsored boxing lessons. And this is a formula we've adopted from the US. This is something that's out there. The police in the US offer free boxing to vulnerable youth, and it's helped to reduce knife crime in that certain area. So we've borrowed that process, if you like, and we're giving free boxing lessons to vulnerable youth, and in addition to that, we're offering mentorship as well to the kids. So it's all about educating them to say, look, knife crime isn't your only road to gaining respect, if you like, or feel that you're part of something. Get into sports, and we've used boxing, or for boxing is becoming more popular because it's a form of releasing aggression for some of the youth, and they want to just kind of get that out. So boxing has become very popular along with the mentorship, and it's really working. So what we're hoping to do in the future is to work with the local schools as well, to go in there and find, identify which are the kids that are getting into, problems all the time at school, and they're not focusing on their studies. And if we can offer them free boxing, the initiative is you'll continue to receive free boxing, and if your grades improve in school or your behaviour improves in school. And when we say free boxing, we're not talking about boxercise. We actually have professional coaches that can take them to the Olympics, and we want to make them professionals in the sport. So that's our goal is to bring some professional boxers, create some professional boxers out of the kids that are involved in knife crime. And I think the most famous one would be Mike Tyson, who's involved in gang crime, knife crime, and just general crime. And now he's one of the most respected boxers that have ever lived.
So you're looking to provide a alternative provision for young people who haven't got anything to do. They get dragged into gangs so that they can spend their time after school or weekends in a boxing gym, learning how to box and stay away from trouble. Is the element of the project, if you like, yeah?
That is the element, and that's the initiative, and that's the incentive that we're using, is to say, look, you have free boxing, free mentorship, provided you stay out of trouble.
And the free mentorship, who are going to be how are you going to recruit these mentors? Who are these mentors?
So we have some on board at the moment, and they'll help with CV writing, they'll help with just being there for advice. In fact, the contestants as well, that the winners, we're hoping that they will provide mentorship to the vulnerable women involved in knife crime, And when I say involved in knife crime, the women are not going out there stabbing. It's the women, unfortunately, are being used to stash the weapons or drugs for the gangs. And that's what we're trying to say to the women. You have a choice. Like, here are some successful women that have overcome challenges and they've become, they're successful in what they're doing and using that as an avenue to move away from gang crime.
And how is your project going to find these vulnerable young people?
So we're going to work with the schools, we're going to work with the police and the local council, and through that get the vulnerable youth involved in it. So what we want to try to prove that here is someone that's been involved in crime in general, knife crime, gang crime, and we want to kind of track their progress. So if we can do that and we can actually prove that our formula works, we're hoping to get more funding from the council, and it's going to cost a lot less than putting someone behind bars if we can transform their mindset, and that's what we're really hoping to do.
So your target market, for a better word, the vulnerable young people that you're going to work with are people who have already entered gangs maybe, or have already used knives, have already been even convicted to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. You're looking for the police, the local authority, other partners to refer these people to you because they want to make amends, they want to get away from gangs, and then your project will give, in this case, boxing as a way out. Yeah. And provide them with training, support, and linked to that, you're also looking to provide mentors so that these young people can look up to people, get some advice and guidance. That's great. I mean, it's a very noble thing, and it's a project which I've seen in different guises over the times in different fields working. The thing that's missing for me at the end of this is, the young person. Not everyone's going to become an Olympic boxing champion or a professional boxing champion. They may, lose some of their aggression in boxing. They have something to do, so it diverts them, takes them away from the gang. But ultimately, one of the reasons why these young people are where they are is because of poverty. Okay, and one of the reasons they're attracted to gangs is, like you said earlier, the gang member will buy them a free chicken burger meal, or give them some trainers, or buy them stuff. It is money that's involved, which lures them in, and then they're in debt to the gang, which ultimately comes back to being able to earn or have an income. Are you looking to link some sort of a route into the jobs market or training opportunities with this project as well?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because the mentorship is solely based on that. So you're right, not everyone's going to be an elite boxer. Some will need to go into business. So we want to either jobs, and for my company as well, with the security, provided they can obtain the license, we're going to try to help there. In terms of starting their own business as well, we want to encourage the youth to start thinking about having their own business. So, and it is starting their own business, working for someone, brushing up on their CV, teaching them how to conduct themselves in interviews, and it's really just going on to that journey. And I think, you're right that the money side is attractive to a lot of the kids. It's quick money, but then with that quick money there's a whole lot more risk as well. So it's their life is at risk. They can end up most of their life behind bars, and we want to try to educate them. We want to work with some prisons as well to say, well, can we bring some vulnerable youth down so they can actually see what it's like here, and it's not as some people that come out from prison try to disguise the fact of it's not as bad as it really is, but really we want to show some of these kids that this is how bad it really is. And spending time behind bars isn't a party. So it's that educational side to things as well. So if we can, it's changing the mindset. So work for your money rather than trying to get a quick buck, if you like. And
Yusuf, you seem very passionate about this project and about knife crime. Is knife something, because I know it's an easy thing to put two and two together, but because you've been in the bodyguarding building and Dosuva, have you experienced something like that yourself?
So yes, I have, and this is earlier on in my career in bodyguarding. I've been kind of slashed with a knife and on my forearm, so I was quite fortunate, if you like. It could have been anywhere. And
But
that's
you,
really
you
just
wasn't
through.
seriously hurt though, yeah?
I wasn't seriously hurt, and that's fortunate. Because the training I've been given, I was able to move away and restrain the person as well. As long as my principal was safe as well, we're there to protect the person. We're almost a shield, so whatever we can do to protect our principal, the celebrity, we need to do that.
Sure.
But
so I can see where the passion comes from then, Yusuf.
it's that passion as well, and plus it's people that I know. A lot more people that I kind of are. I'm working with. They know someone very close to them that's lost their life through knife crime, and it's getting more and more. It's getting worse by the day.
Okay, great. Well, Yusuf, we're running out of time. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And I look forward to this event you're putting on, but I'm more interested in the actual project and seeing how it affects the young people as well. And maybe next year sometime you can appear and tell us how the project is progressing. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So viewers, there you are. We're talking about somebody who has a passion for trying to get, it actually started from passion of getting young people away from knife crime. And he's using the skills that he has, the knowledge that he has in trying to raise funds through his event, which he's going to put on for ladies to look at their beauty, but also the brains and their achievements through there next year. So it's an event that's taking place next year at one of the posh hotels. So if anyone's interested, just contact Venus TV. They'll give you some details about it. But do stay tuned in, and hopefully next week we'll have another guest, interesting guest, talking about another topic. This is Afzal. It's a Tonight Show, Tuesday evening. Blessed. Have a nice week.